Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Blackert,
And I'm Leonka Reina.
and this is the Hout Hustle Morning Show. Today, we are talking with two amazing channels. We're talking with Addison Ames, who's a Metatron channel. We talked with him in our last summit, who talked all about timeline leaping, which was cool, weird, and fascinating.
Yes.
And much of this information did come through his channeling work. So we thought we would deepen that
Oh
conversation.
my gosh, it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited.
Yeah. He is in the viewing room. So if you do like this conversation, then make sure that you look at the viewing room that will be sent later today so that you can explore more about Addison.
Yay.
Then we are also talking about talking
With.
to a Luna, no, Aurora Luna star.
I was going to say Alicia. I don't know why. But Aurora Luna Star.
Aurora.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just right out of
And
the Cinderella movie, not Cinderella movie.
she's one of
One
our
of
peeps.
them.
And she definitely gets in there and talks about being a star seed and
Yep.
has this really cool
Cool
way of
blueprinting.
activation. It's called blueprinting. And I love anything that has visuals, so I cannot wait for her to explain how this works,
Oh, it's
how we can
cool.
experience
Yeah,
it. I
it's
think
very
she
cool stuff.
really, really loves to just take people through and have just sort of fundamental transformations. It's going to be an
Absolutely.
amazing day.
So
Y'all,
excited about it. Oh my gosh.
the whole summit has been exciting to put together these deeper conversations.
So deep.
Just love all of it. So thank you. Continue to write in and let us know your comments too,
Yeah.
because there might be some prizes.
Yes, we have prizes coming. Each day we're going to offer a new prize for participation, especially participation on Instagram. Today, do you want to announce that now?
Sure, let's go.
Today we are giving away my first collaborative book. It's called Bushido Business, and it's really not too much about business as much as it is about getting and embodying your future self, which is exactly what I write about in the book and what many other speakers talk about empowerment and really coming from a place of being all of you. So if you want a book, we're giving it away to every single person who posts on who writes a comment on our latest post on Instagram, and I will put that in the chat. And it's also, of course, in well, anywhere else you would look for it.
Sure. And you can also comment on YouTube too. And
Yeah.
you can always find us by just searching Hout Hustle. But we're super excited also we've got other prizes that are going to come throughout the week.
So cool prizes.
Yes, I'm doing
funner prizes than books.
You're funny. I'm going to do a session, I'm going to do 2 sessions, 2 giveaways per week. You have to be listening and you have to participate by commenting on our Instagram. So please, just, we're definitely trying to grow that, and we're growing a community here. So every little bit helps. And so if that's a little bit of incentive, you get to get an Akashic reading with me. That would be really, really fun.
And I am a hypnotherapist and am giving away some hypnotherapy full sessions that are recorded through MP3. So there's a lot of exciting things. We've got other books, we've got journals, we've got some fun things happening all week, but you're going to have to keep showing up to see what the daily prize is. But today we're giving away the Bushido business book to everyone.
Dang, girl, that's awesome.
Because I have a lot in stock.
That's so awesome, though. Like, who knew you were going to be able to just come and have fun and then be able to just gift our community with it? This is awesome. I love it so much.
Cool. So just a couple announcements. We just got a couple of the housekeeping things before we bring Addison on. Do you want to start with a little bit nugget about our previous journey first?
Sure.
Yeah, just a nugget about it.
So we are not new to this. If you're joining us for the first time, or if you've been on with us, you probably have heard this many times, but we're not new to this space of consciousness. We're just new with this show and joining you from the Morning Mystics. We also have a very extensive background, and the way that we found each other was kind of I don't even,
Synchronistic.
it is synchronistic, but now we know it's divinely guided, right?
Mhm.
This whole experience has been divinely guided. So I used to work in Janet's business before, and we created some really massive, just a big following. We had huge events. They were sponsored. I mean, we had a ton of things just rocking and rolling. And then I, lo and behold, went to Oregon and started a family. And fast forward 10 years later, we are reuniting to recreate this magic. And now we can tell that this magic is so divinely,
Beyond.
yeah, it's beyond. Yeah, that's a great way. And just being able to share this with all of you and all of this training, and I'll let Jenna tell a little bit about her background story too.
Yeah. Well, I was just incredibly sensitive and weird when in my early 20s, and almost was non-functional in this reality. So I had a mystical experience, for the lack of a better word, and that mystical experience started with me hearing like voices outside of me that weren't schizophrenic, but it was that my knower inside of me really woke up. This is about 2005, by the way. So we're talking 20 some years that I started having these mystical awakenings through me. I had people from the TM community call me up. I had, weird ass dreams where I'd wake up and things were so surreal. And then I developed really an open, clear channel with the Galactic. I'm specifically an Arcturian channel at this point. And it's really, really cool work. I am trained in hypnotherapy, so you will get a lot of that. I also wanted you guys to know and look for it. I put together one of the sound architects that does the background sound for my hypnotherapy CDs, created a entire 8-part program. They're 8 hours of alpha, theta, delta that we're selling them during the summit for $8.
$8.
They're always at the bottom of the email if you want to grab them, but we wanted to put that together special because sometimes I just listen to those and can really go in this spacious state.
And it will really help you to absorb or receive, be open for all of the different informations that we're giving here in all of the sessions. So it's really great, I guess, assisting tool, if you will.
Yes.
So
yeah, I mean, this can be a lot, right? Like these summits, there's not just a lot of information, but there's a lot of frequency. So this is just something to support you.
How cute.
Dana said, I just bought it. Awesome.
We wanted to make it like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Something super to help and just create that space. In talking with people in our inner circle, we realized that sometimes you just have to be able to create an inner space, just a little wedge, so that more information can get in. And this is what that helps to do. It's just an extra tool. You don't have to have it, but it's super great when you do. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, I think we need a pin, but also I didn't know she was going to give her a whole bio, her short bio. I just wanted to give a little bit about what I do and what I've studied. Back in 2012, before I met Jeanette, I thought that I worked in radio and television and had this really great career, but then something was super missing. And because I grew up in a really tough
environment.
Environment. I'll just say it. My mom she was on drugs and my dad was a drug dealer. And despite all of that, I was a really happy kid. However, when I started to get a little bit older, I realized that I wanted to be able to understand what I was feeling and be able to help people. So I thought getting my certification in life coach training. And then that's how I met Janet, because I went to a life coach. Presentation, and she was giving a message, and I just remember looking up at her, and she's talking about these concepts about doing business with earth and wind and fire, and these are things I had never even thought of. Right? I've been in business my whole life, and then she was just like up there glowing, and all of a sudden I heard these words like, "You're going to work with her." I go, I'm gonna work with her. And she says I stalked her for a while, and
Yep,
I
she did.
did. And I was just basically like, how do I help? How do I volunteer? Because she was having a big event, and lo and behold, this is where you see us today. So fast forward, I've just been involved with QHHT, which is quantum hypnotic healing technique. I also have done that we're studied in some actions consciousness. We've followed a lot of people. We've done our own interview series. We've interviewed tons of different speakers, and Jennifer's interviewed everyone from The Secret. So
Yeah,
lots of
except
knowledge
for
that
Dee
we.
Martini, who said
You
yes
say that,
and then
you always
couldn't
say
make
that.
the appointment.
Mark Victor Hansen. I mean, I've had various different exchanges with lots of different people that have come on to the show, and now we get to take all of that experience and bring it here while being divinely guided, and we get to share these really wonderful speakers. I'm so thrilled. I can't even like contain myself, because what I was doing before was not this, and I'm so grateful and happy to be here with you all today.
Fabulous. Well, Addison is on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him up. Let's see if I can pin him real quick. Oh, that's the wrong one. Remove. Where'd he go?
We love you, but
Oh, maybe he turned on his camera and then I lost him.
ditto. Oh, I love how souls come together. Me too.
Addison, we were bragging about you right before you came on. You totally missed
Wow.
it.
I should have signed on earlier.
We can't
But
hear
that's
you.
okay. We can love on you now.
Doesn't look like you're muted, but I can't hear you.
Let's see. I should be on. Can you hear me now?
No, I still can't hear you.
Huh. All right. Let me check my audio settings.
What I was saying,
They say they can hear him fine.
Oh, really?
Ah.
Can you hear me
How
now?
is that possible?
It
Can
should
you
be
hear?
working.
And then Paula says she can hear us all. I can hear
Okay.
fine.
Well, now I'm a little bit nervous.
Hello, Addison. Welcome to the
Hello,
summit.
hello.
Valentina's one of our
Can you hear me? Like Carol Burnett used to
lovely
do?
repeat persons that come and hang out with us in the community. So she's welcoming everybody. Thank you,
Mhm.
Valentina.
All right. Well, I guess we are
Yeah,
going
you
to
can
the
hear me.
regular mic system.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. How do I do this? It's been a while.
You guys sound good. I don't know if you can hear me now.
There we go.
Well, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Good morning. I
Hello.
was bragging about you this morning and saying that I think by the end of the conversation we had last time, I was humbled and in awe. My jaw was like dropping by the end of our conversation
Wow.
because it was just something that was just so out of what a lot of people talk about that are in this industry. It was just so different. And I really would love to just kind of continue this conversation from where we were at.
Sure.
Yeah.
And thank you for your kind words. Part of my positioning and hi to everybody.
Yes,
participating
yes.
in this
So that we
summit.
didn't get a chance to do
Tessie,
the formal introduction.
introduction.
Yes, but we do like to jump in, and so
Go ahead.
definitely let us know a little bit about you, where you come from, and what got you into this work as
Yeah,
well.
let's start there.
Yeah.
Get everyone caught up.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on, Jenith and Leonka, and gotten to know you both through this work. And it's really been a great joy. You're two of my favorite people. And so, yeah, I really mean that.
It's a mutual thing.
Love you. Thank you.
Sending you mutual hugs.
Yes.
And you're both in Chicagoland, right? You're in the Chicago.
We're in
area.
Austin.
Yeah, beautiful part of the universe. I really like it quite a bit. And thank you for having me on again. So my name is Addison Ames. I'm currently based in Florida, where it's pretty toasty and warm in Orlando, Florida. And, shall I go ahead and give a little introduction?
Yes,
lady?
please.
Okay. So, my background really is in business and marketing, a little bit like Jenith and Leonka.
Yeah.
And I still work with business. I'm kind of an individual who had this amazing spiritual awakening, but really didn't leave my people, my family, or even business behind. I have beautifully and wonderfully kind of melded both what I call kind of the spiritual existence, and there's a whole range of spiritual existences out there. I'm sure all of you watching know that, when you're on a spiritual journey, a deep spiritual journey like this, a lot of things that we understand and come in contact with are a little bit different than what the average person might come in contact with. But I try to blend both spiritual and practical real world solutions in my work and also in my life. So, I do everything from channeling Metatron, and Jenith and Leonka would like, I can even channel, and you all would like, I can even channel Metatron for you today, part of our overall conversation. Channeling, life guidance, relationship guidance, timeline, healing. I'm a healer, kind of a spiritual, I don't usually use the term spiritual teacher, but like a spiritual guy, person, helper, all the way to I work with people who are trying to improve their lives through kind of personal empowerment coaching, helping them to feel more alive, feel more plugged in with their own personal callings in life, all the way to business. So business is becoming enlightened and awakened too. And this is one of my key messages. Is a lot, there are spiritual people out there that say, "Oh, business is bad. I'm out of that." And I did quit my full-time job to do my own business, but people comprise business. People around the world are awakening. Business is awakening, and I'm part of that movement. I'm very proud of that. So, I service a range of needs, everything from channeling high dimensional or ultra dimensional knowledge, all the way to helping businesses, business leaders, and executives succeed, make the best decisions they can, and move forward in the highest and best way. So that's a little bit about me. Any
I
questions?
feel like that was a little elementary for what you really are, but let's let's deepen this conversation. One of the way I was fascinated with the way that you looked at timelines.
Mhm.
And it's changed everything in my life because I look at timelines different.
Mm.
Can I think my first question is, how did you learn that information about timelines? Was that from channeling Metatron?
Mhm. Well, in large part, yes. So I'll talk a little bit about Metatron. Some of you may be familiar with Metatron. Some of you may not be familiar with Metatron. But Metatron is, in the way that I work with them, an ultra dimensional being, which means it's not a he or a she, but I many times refer to it as a he. Lives kind of outside of our existence and drops in to help architect our existence. So, many people may know Metatron as an archangel, and that's one of the roles that he kind of fills, just like many of us on this call have different roles that we fill, mother, daughter, sister, brother, employer, employee, whatever it may be. We're kind of different things to different people. So Metatron can work and may work with many of you as an archangel or head archangel, but that's just one of the roles that he fills. In truth, he kind of is a no thing that lives outside of our existence, which is all thing, and helps drop in to architect it. So since he is kind of like an architect, as if you were going to build a home or an office, you would hire an architect and he would kind of scope out and plan out everything. He knows how things work. Metatron is much like that. So a lot of what I have learned has been Metatron. I also have a guide that works with me and also teaches me a lot of things too. So, in this process of spiritual awakening, I also just kind of awoke to new knowledge. To me, the awakening process is knowing new things. That's a really easy way to see it. And so in this kind of fundamental understanding of how things work, one of my roles is to mystify, simplify, and make high knowledge really understandable, kind of cool, not over intellectualize it, but just say in basic understandings, this is what it is. And so in our conversation about timelines, that's, a little bit of what I did, because, this whole kind of mystical knowledge to me really isn't mystical, but we kind of make it that way because we don't quite understand it sometimes. But when we understand something, like when you know how a system works, when you know how something works, you go, okay, I can deal with this, right? So like, let's say you have a child. It takes you a little while to learn how the system works, parent to child. I think you both have children, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to understand how that parental child system works. But once you get the hang of it, once you figure it out, you say, okay, I can work with this. I can understand this. And so when I work with people and, do these summits and podcasts and things like that, part of my role is to help demystify, ground high knowledge and practical everyday knowledge so that, you all, if you wish to use it, can use it to your own good. So, timelines to me is something, it's in books, it's in movies, TV shows, but it doesn't have to be something that is scary or misunderstood. It's something that we all use. It's an organization of our lives and even other lives. And once we understand they're kind of like file folders or things you would hang in your closet. You go, okay, well, I can get that. I can manage that and work with it. And then, like I said, timelines can be used to your own highest good if we become our own timelines masters.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, can you give us the elementary version for timelines? Because I think people have perceived that it's literally like timeline leaping, and the way that you explained it, it's a whole lot quicker than that.
And we also want to have you also channel too. So I just want to be mindful of the time and make sure that we get to have that experience too.
Or maybe we ask the question through Metatron or whatever you think we might want to do.
Sure. How much time do we have? How much time do we have?
We have about, an hour.
Okay. Here. All right. Well, I think I can talk a little bit about timelines, and then I'll introduce Metatron a bit more and then channel Metatron. Is that okay?
Nice.
Sounds great.
Perfect.
And just let me know if I'm running a little bit long. So timelines are organizational systems for our stuff. They organize our stuff. And that's, again, I'm just trying to make it into language that, people can really understand. So just like you would organize stuff in your closet, you might organize stuff in a cabinet in your kitchen, or I use the analogy many times of canisters you might have in your kitchen, where you have canisters of granola, flour, spaghetti, chocolate, whatever it may be, is you organize your stuff in canisters and you line them up and organize them against a wall of time. And so timelines basically categorize and organize everything that we experience, emotions, energies, memories, everything that we go through, good, bad, and ugly, are all organized and categorized in our timelines. And that's really what they are.
It's kind of like that Disney movie. What was that one called where that joy Inside Out?
Inside Out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
There's
an emotion coming in.
In a way, I think there's a lot of truth. I saw both the first one and the second one. I think there's a lot of truth. For me, I see it as the human has many parts and pieces. The human is not one thing, but it's many things, a complex system of complex things that come together and create the human. So I think they did a really good job of storytelling, of understanding all the different parts and pieces of the human. With time in timelines work, I liken it to your closet. So you may have a walk-in closet, and you walk in, you have all of your stuff, your shoes organized, tops organized, everything by category in your closet. So as we live life, we are always placing things into our closet, into our timelines, information, energies, all the kind of things that we experience, and we organize them and categorize them. As we go through time, there may be times like in your walk-in closet, you look in there and you go, you know what? I don't wear this anymore. I haven't worn this in a long time. I don't like the way it makes me look. I have a different look now. So you may want to take that thing out of your closet, fold it, put it underneath your bed. Maybe you store things there, put it down the hall in another closet, or even in timelines collapsing, what we do is we take things out of your closet and we move it to like an offsite storage facility where you don't see it every day in your walk-in closet.
Yes,
And
I
so,
remember that.
yeah. So timelines can be cleaned and cleared. They can be healed. They can be closed or collapsed. And that could help you focus on what you're doing now and what's happening in your life now. Timelines jumping is something that we do all the time. In fact, in my own life, I've kind of done an analysis, and in an hour of usual everyday life, I'm jumping about 13 different timelines in just an hour. Most people have anywhere from 80 to 120 timelines open, and they're jumping timelines, multiple timelines about every hour. Because as we move or shift gears from different mindsets, different focuses, we are both uploading and downloading different sets of information, energies, healing, help, all whatever it may be, so that we can manage our lives. So we are an ongoing set of experiences that are uploading and downloading all the time. So jumping timelines is nothing scary. It's how we manage our lives. We kind of understand, demystify timelines. We can become very careful about what we experience, what we upload to our timelines, and also how we clean and clear, heal our timelines, and be very circumspect about what we download from our timelines.
I think that's really what I've gotten out of it. It's about mindfulness. It's about presence, and it's even helping me practice presence so that I can kind of hit that eternal present moment a little bit more often. So that's what I've gotten out of it, is just the super awareness.
Yeah, and mentioning that, I think one of the beautiful things that's coming from the mindfulness movement in humanity is, I think humanity has gone from living lives of devil may care and just blah, you just live life, But when we are really we watch ourselves, we're aware of what we are putting ourselves through, what energies we're giving out to others, what energies we allow in. When we become very aware that we're our own fortress, we're our own solitude, we're our own peace, if we want it that way. And we manage our lives that way, kind of with an eagle eye, always being aware of what's really going on here. Our lives can become a lot better. No one else is going to live our lives for us. We are responsible for our own lives. And so, this applies to timelines, this applies to relationships, boundaries, lots of things in the spiritual journey. So,
what about entities and things that kind of interfere and keep us from being present? How do you look at that?
Well, it's a very interesting question. It really depends on the person. So in my journey into channeling, which was, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about channeling, it was a real kind of wake up for me where I went from being very literal minded to really understanding lots of layers of creation, lots of layers of existence. And Metatron dropped in and started to talk to me and work with me in very ongoing ways. And it was a little frightening for me at first, honestly. And so I began to work with some other experts, some other people in the field, Reiki master, other channelers, to really understand what was going on, to have some grounding in the overall experience.
Yeah.
And, through that whole experience and study, I really became to know that there's a lot of stuff out there. There are a lot of energies out there. That's why a lot of people come to me and want to learn how to channel. And a lot of times I say, well, let's see, let's take a look at it respectfully and lovingly. Is this really pathing? Is this something that you need to do? Because when you're really connecting and building relationships with beings that are unseen beings, it's very important to be careful. So, you know, I'm not exactly sure how to answer your question most specifically, but there are a lot of things out there. It's important to keep your timelines clean, keep your life clean, be careful who we connect with, both at the human level and at the ultra human level, and use discernment, use best judgment. No one else is going to make those decisions for us except for ourselves. And, you know, work with other people. You know, I really encourage, especially, I'm sure some people on this call might be called to channel. I know you all, I think you both do. It's important to work, I think, with other experts, people who can give you some different perspectives. Always make sure you're connecting with the highest and best beings of the light, and make wise decisions.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Metatron.
Yeah,
Where do
I
we
had a
start with that?
question.
Where do you start with that and working with Metatron,
Sure.
and then we can do some, I don't know what to ask.
Okay. So
I mean, I would like to take callers and have you work with them and channeling Metatron and kind of just demonstrate the work and take them through it. But I don't really know
Where next to ask,
what
right?
next to ask
To go straight
to
into
go
that.
into that.
So I think we'll let you direct us. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm connected to Metatron right now, by the way.
Yes.
And so if you see me kind of look over this direction, I visualize kind of like a heads-up display, Metatron right over here. Metatron is the only being that I channel. In the past, I've channeled a few others, kind of in tandem with Metatron, but I focus only on Metatron. I can talk to people's guides or get information through Metatron from people's guides, and that does happen a lot. But Metatron is guiding me to go ahead and start channeling him. I'll give a brief introduction, and I see some hands up. So those questions can be from Metatron, if that's cool with everybody. The way that he works, he'll probably talk for a few moments. And he's kind of a teacher in the way that I work with him. So he may give some ideas for you all to consider. And then he'll take questions from the audience as you all can kind of filter through them. Is that okay, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's why we couldn't have the questions come out so freely. I think it was already being directed, so that's great.
Yeah,
Thank
wonderful. So again, I'm just a little bit more preface. I'm a full body channel, which means Addison, as a personality factor, steps back. Metatron's energy steps in. You'll see a little bit of a transformation. It's not a huge change, but you probably feel the energy change. And you'll be talking to Metatron, an ultra-dimensional architect of reality, not me. When he's done, he'll say goodbye. He'll leave, and it'll take a few minutes for me to transition back in. The transitions take just a few seconds, really. I've been working with Metatron now for about 6 years. So it's a very fluid relationship. And I think you'll enjoy the conversation. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds fun.
All right. And we are here. We are Metatron, and we thank you. We don't mean to scare you, yet our energy is big. So as we present through Addison, and others of you on the call may know Metatron, here, there, and in between, channelers and other, we work in different ways. As Addison mentioned earlier, we are different things to different people in different ways, because humanity needs things it can understand. When high dimensional beings or ultra dimensional beings, or we know, Jenith, you to work with Arcturians, beings that are really beyond the human experience, drop in, communicate, help, and uplift the human, they have to work in the human experience. And we say this again, we want you to understand this. Those kinds of beings have to work in the human experience. Otherwise, it would be frightful for you and it would not work. In the way that we work with Addison, we are highly functional, which means we work kind of like a psychologist or a therapist, in that we understand the human psyche. how the psychology, which is the understanding, the heart, the mind, and soul, the whole conglomerated being work together as one. So if we did not do that, we would not really, at least in the way that we work with Addison, be doing our job. Because the human has to fully understand these kind of ultra-dimensional, high-dimensional, very different teachings in ways that are fluid, useful, and helpful. Otherwise, you walk away going, I don't really know what he said. It's kind of an interesting experience, but we don't know what to do with any of that. So it doesn't really help. Well, it's entertainment. And we hope we entertain you, because something that entertains says, listen, impart the information into your own life and you leave changed. Like if you go see a movie, you're entertained, you're enthused, your intellect is engaged, you find it wonderful, you leave going, wow, we got to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
What we want to supply in all the ways that we work with humans and the ways that we work through Addison is something like that. We hope we are that today. If we are not, we apologize. And by the way, we are available for all of you. We are not just an Addison thing. We are not just a channeler thing. We're not just a Jenith or Leonka thing. We are a thing that is available to all. So if you like Metatron, if you like us, if you're interested in transformation and change, and this is a key thing for you all to understand, transformation and change is elemental to our energy in the way that we work, then by all means call upon Metatron in and of the high and say, come help me, please, engage with me, please. The key thing about ascension is this. We know many of you care about ascension, is it is change, change, change. If you care about ascension, really, many people ask Addison and many people ask us this, what is the one thing that drives ascension? You know what that answer is? It is generational change. So if you really want to change the world, have children. And here's why. It's because with every new generation, every child that is born, there are new energies, ideas, frequencies, vibrations, lots of things that come into that new child and say, be different and rise. Because in that, there is freedom. Freedom for transition. Because ascension, if it is anything, is change, change, change. Now, many of you on this call may be of a certain age. We won't say any numbers. But as a human grows and becomes more mature, many times there is resistance to change. So at a personal level, many of you on this call who may not want to have children or may be done with children, you want to look at your life and say, how can I be an assistant in ascension? Change, change, change. Don't be too hard and fast, but be fluid on the scale of high to low, and if anything, be broad-minded. A key message of ours is that as dimensions change and shift, and yes, you all are moving into new and higher dimensions, what they really are, and we demystify this very clearly for you, the dimensions are mind statements. Mind, mind, mind. For in truth, the way that your existence is built, and we know we are an architect of it, is relationships. This to that, this to that, this to that. And in that this to thatness, you understand, as some have said, that all is mind. And let us tell you what mind is. If you don't know what your mind does, it is a beautiful thing. Your heart works the same way, by the way. It is a relationship machine, a relationship device. What your heart does, your mind, your soul, really all of you does all the time is this to that, this to that, this to that. And this to that, if you can't figure it out on your own, is a relationship. That's why it's so important to have a good relationship with yourself, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit, your whole multidimensional self. Have good relationships with others, because as ascension happens, there are different relationship statements, mind statements of this to that changes. That's why love is so important in the world today, because love is a relationship way. If we are in love, we relate in the highest and best ways. If we are mean and horrid and horrible to people, we relate in low ways, and it breaks them down. The key to ascension is build each other up, expand, and profound, because life is many things, but it is definitely what you choose and what you make of it. So as you move through dimensions, as you care about ascension, relate in the highest and best ways possible with yourself, with everything, with all that you have and all that you know, with the stranger that you meet, with a person you're scared of and you may not really like, love them anyway. The truth of love is this: if you don't love in the highest ways you can, you're failing at life. And we say that, it may sound a little scary to some
Big
people.
one. Yeah.
But it is the important thing to rise. We all are called to do things. In our existence, and we drop into your existence, which we call ours because we are in it right now, we are all called to do things. We all have jobs to do. The key thing about humanity right now is learn to love and love in the highest ways possible. And that really is the calling on all of humanity. You may look around the world and say, we don't see it, we don't see it, we don't see it. But the truth is, it is happening. It really is. We've said before, and we'll say it again, that humanity is only now just beginning to understand love. Yet, it is working very nicely, believe it or not, on nice. It is understanding nice. It is understanding to a degree respect, mutual admiration, and other. Some of you may work in companies where there are human resources departments. Departments all around the world are coming online that say, we're watching, we're there to support you. You all be nice to each other. Play nice with each other, respect each other. This is happening on a world stage, and it is a building block of love. So we call you all today, please be masters of love. Now, Jennifer and Leonka, we will take any questions.
Leonka has one she'd like to start with.
Oh, goodness. This also came in the chat. Metatron, thank you so much for being here with us and for that really profound message that I will have to be with. When I said yesterday and was inviting someone to the show to join us live, she mentioned that Metatron could be the reincarnated Jesus. And she asked the question again, is it Metatron, the reincarnated Yeshua? And then, but particularly to me, when I received that question, all of a sudden I got this really big hit to channel or just be. And so I quietened everything down, even though I was busy with my computer and we were having to start the summit. I quickly just closed everything down and I got quiet. And then all of a sudden, instead of receiving words, which I normally received through channel, I received sound and frequency, I believe. And I also heard the words, just be still and calm. And then I just allowed it to be. And then it was kind of brief. And then it was thank you. And then that was that. Do you have anything that you'd like to share on that?
Well, what we'll say first is, all right, so we ask for your flexibility in mind and the way that your openness is, because there are lots of different stories that are told in the human stage, in the human element. So there are levels of truth. There are levels of grade, levels of career in the human and the human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So we are kind of like graduate school professors, if you will. Yet there are different grade levels, first, second, third grade, et cetera, just like you have in your school systems. Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
So if we or others went into kindergarten class and started to teach graduate level physics, most children probably would say, what color do you like? Or something like that, because it is a different grade level of information. And this is not demeaning at all, so please don't misunderstand that. But there are different levels of information that are presented. So what we present to you from our perspective is a high-level perspective of Metatron and what Metatron is. You with us so far?
Yes.
Great. So we have never been a human, don't want to be a human, and have never held a human name. We are beyond
I understand.
humanity.
That makes
and
total
we help
sense.
humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, different people understand us in different ways, just like different people see us as an archangel. And if that's the way they see us, then we are. And we can do that for sure. But in truth, we are not that. We're a different kind of thing that really is a no thing that lives outside of thing, which is your existence, and helps thing to work. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
And the second part of your question, we didn't quite understand, but there are all kinds of experiences that people have that are energetic, but we didn't quite catch the question in the second part of what was said.
Thank you. I think I have everything I need.
Okay,
I just was,
very good.
yes,
That-
being with information and the energy. Yes.
That did bring up something for me though,
Yeah.
because I know when I'm connected with the field. And that seems almost as if Metatron is the field. Can you explain the difference?
Yes, we are not the field.
Okay.
However, and we appreciate the question, dear one, we are a very large permeated energy, which means that we speak to you with a voice. Again, going back to the concept of we have to work within human understanding.
Yes.
Otherwise, you guys don't understand us. So we're not human. We're not a guy. We're not at all like a human. Yet we work with you all in understandings that you can understand. And we do the channeling thing with him and a few other people and with you all if you want to as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yet we are an architect being whose energy is present in your existence, yet we are not the field. The field is generated by something other. Does that answer your question?
Totally get it.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask it. I mean, for me, I get information from the field just as I'm getting information from you.
Mhm.
And so it was just like, I just wanted some clarifications, but energetically, I totally have that.
Mhm.
Perfect.
And I'm glad you asked because I was able to see that completely different now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yes, thank you for the vision of that.
It's almost as.
And what we encourage you all and everyone on this call to do is be aware, like Addison talked earlier about mindfulness, right? Be
Mhm.
aware of your understandings or your belief systems, if you want to call it that, throughout your
Mhm.
spiritual journey. Again, ascension is change. If anyone on this call thinks that their belief systems and their understandings will remain the same as they are today till the day that they die and nothing changes, we would say, think again. So as you understand things anew, just like going through the grade levels, you go, I really like that. I didn't like that. You change purview as you rise higher and higher. It's a little bit like ascension in a spiritual journey, and you guys are all on this, is like taking off in an airplane. It's ascending. The airplane ascends. And as the airplane ascends, the view changes. So remember that I'm on an airplane that's going up and the view changes. I allow the change. I look at the change. I moderate the change. I observe the change. So your belief systems, your understandings may change. And that's okay. Because as you get higher and higher, everything is different. So just like there are commercial people going into outer space now and commercialized, you just had a big first commercial spacewalk in the human experience. People are going higher and higher, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Things change. If you think the experience on a Polaris space mission is different than flying Delta Airlines, it probably is, because you're higher. So it's the same thing in the human experience. As you look at maybe friends and family who are not on a spiritual journey, it's okay. They're just on a different airline than you are.
Yes.
So remember, watch yourself, and love others, no matter where they may be
Mhm.
in the atmosphere, as it were. Go ahead. Other questions?
Very nice. Dana, you're up. Dana's part of the lounge.
And lounge gets
It's
priority. Yeah,
priority.
priority access. Thank you.
Hello.
Dan-
Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I've been seeing some codes with my naked eye, sacred geometric like, and then a very specific one in the night sky that looked kind of like an S, but also infinity symbol. And then also certain ways that the light of this, when I'm in the sun, I see like rainbow kind of orbs, but more mandala, like very intricate designs inside of them. And so I'm just wondering, I'm curious about what they might mean for me. Excuse me.
Do you have any idea? Do you feel any awakening within you at the physical level from these codes?
Yes, I know that I'm in one right now, and all of these things are coming in. Just haven't really received anything specific, and just wondering if there were downloads or energy codes.
There are downloads and energy codes meant to activate you on your spiritual ascension or your spiritual awakening journey. We'll talk about this. I hope you understand this. I hope it answers your question. Many of you on this call, beyond this beautiful person here, are experiencing or have experienced or will experience this. This is a common element in a steep ascension experience. You with me so far? Are you with us so far?
Yes.
And by the
Yes.
way, we may use singular or plural for us, because remember, we're not like a thing. We're not even many things. So we may say we may say me, it just depends. All right, but probably we more than anything. So as these codes come in, they are meant to be an upgrade or a download experience. Just like on your computer, if you get an upgrade, there is code that is sent to your computer and it upgrades. As much as you may not like to hear these words, all of you are a data experience. All of you are information. Heart is information. Soul is information. What a soul is, it's like a big FedEx cargo plane that carries ideas of self and incarnations through existence. That's an easy understanding what the soul is, a FedEx cargo plane. And it holds essences, ideas, idea matrices of beings or incarnations and flies through experiences. Makes sense? So if you buy a data experience like a computer, a phone, a watch, watches that are digital, all kinds of things carry higher levels of information, much like you, much like your heart, much like your mind, much like your soul. If you buy something off the shelf today, when you turn it on, chances are I'm activating this and it says, we need a quick download. We need to make sure you're operating off of the best OS, operating system, etc. The human is similar to that, much like that, in that you are a data experience experiencing data. And data is not a bad word. Data, another way to understand data, they're all little relationships. So you're a relationship device experiencing relationships all the time. We are relating and you are experiencing this relationship of us now. So when someone is going through a steep ascension experience like you, dear, beautiful one, are, you need more preeminent updates than the average person, and different kinds from different places and spaces. Generally, they all come through your soul into your existence, and you may see them as S and an infinity sign, but they may or they may not be directly related to what you see. It is a way for you to know I am getting new energies, new relationships into my life that will change how I relate. It's a good way to understand what these updates are. New relationships that update and change how you relate. And we're going to say it again for you one more time because it's very important. Updates like this, and all of you really either have, you are, you will get them, are little relationship sequences that come into your being, which is a relationship device, and change how you relate. And this is the last message we'll give you on this: change how you relate. So you will relate, as you see these things, you will relate differently to yourself, differently to your experiences, and differently to others. So be careful, which is not cautious, but be full of care, full of care, full of care. And watch yourself. Watch how you relate with yourself, your experiences, and other. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you so much.
Very good. And be empowered. That's an important word for you. Empowered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was beautiful. Can I ask a quick question, I hope? We talk all about relationship, but then we also know that there's this frequency where we can be that no thing and just meet oneness. Can you just explain a little bit about how we go from such a relational way in this reality to being more of that energetic oneness?
If you are able to meditate and go to no thing, then we encourage you to do it as much as you are led. It is a beautiful place to be. For in the experience that you have, everything is thing relating to thing. And you may know this in your everyday life. Get the kids to school, do this, do that. You're always thinging through life. And in the thinging through life, you are colliding and you are being tossed around. That's the way relate works. Boom, 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 boom. Even love and peace. I love you, but you're still kind of clanging in that hug. You're in the touch and love of life. There's a little bit of like knock around, right? So if you're able to meditate and go to no thing, which is really outside of your experience, and if you can do it,
Nice.
do it as much as you can, because it empowers you and brings in an energy into thing that helps you deal with other things. We want to talk a little bit about frequency because we want to dismantle this a bit for you and help kind of clear it up for you. Frequency is not everything. Mind is everything. What creates frequency and vibration is this to thatness of things. So the majority of your existence is silent, so silent that silence is not even a word. And most of your existence is so dark that darkness is not even a word. Yet in the thinginess of human society, there is a lot of things that connect to each other and create sound. Frequency is sound. It is only sound, is nothing else but sound. Yet what creates it and what permeates your entire existence, universe, and all is thing, doing, thing, interacting with thing in some way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just had that jaw-dropping moment that just went through my entire body. So thank you. But every
And
time
we encourage you all to think about this. If you want to change your frequency and vibration, and a lot of people ask this, you got to change your mind. Because it is the mind that creates frequency and vibration. It is the basis point for that. So we encourage you all, this is a jaw-dropping piece of information.
I gotcha.
Please consider it and say, how can I change the way I think? How can I change the way that I relate so that my frequency and vibration rises? That's why we said earlier, really, if you're not loving in the highest and best ways possible, you're failing. It's a good place to put your energy because that does help change your mind, change your relationships, and alter your frequency and vibration. Next, please.
love it.
I do too.
Inga, you're up. If you want to unmute, that'd be great.
Hello? Can you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Metatron. I have spoken to you a couple of months ago, and you told me at one point, you told me in a past life I was in Egypt at the time of Akhenaten, and that I was nobody special. Since then, I did have a QHHT session wherein I said, I am Isis. And of course, I think I was making that up. Can you clarify at all?
Would you like to be Isis?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of question that is.
Would you like to be Isis? Ask yourself. Take a moment with that.
I suppose I would, but but this has been my whole issue, is that I'm wanting to be able to be of help to other people.
Right.
As a goddess like Isis, I guess, and I've had power. I know I have power now, although I don't think I'm in touch with it. But I don't know how to do that, do what I want.
All right. Would you like the truth or would you like lies?
No, of course I want the truth.
Okay. All right, good. Now we ask you this, and everyone watching this, please don't be horrified by this, but this is the way that we work. This is the way that we work through Addison. We're very cut and dry, and we are truth tellers, but if you want lies, we'll tell you lies. But we're going to explain to you what we're saying here is the human experience right now. Stay with us on this, please. This is high knowledge. On this. The human experience right now, where you all exist, is really based on lies. Based on lies. That's why, as you look at political campaigns and different things that happen in your world, you go, I don't know about that, or I don't want anything to do with that. or it doesn't pass the litmus test for me. I don't believe what they're saying. I'm not doing that. Does this sound familiar to you?
Yes.
Okay. And even with spiritual teachers, no matter who you deal with, always go, let me see. Let's see how it feels. Let's see how it proofs out, how it tests out. So where humanity is going, and this is some hope for you, we'll get back to your question, dear caller, is as it rises, truth rises too. So as humanity is growing very fast right now, if you all are not aware of this, there is an overpopulation situation in your world today. There's a lot of people, a lot of babies being born right now, which is okay, because in the end, it really helps ascension. It really helps things out, because the key driver of ascension is generational change. New kids on the block, new kids on the block, new kids on the block. If you don't like the songs from them, check it. Actually, pretty good. So as humanity goes through these changes, it is becoming more truthful. So much so that it will have to be a truthful community of humans. It will have to be. There's no other choice. That's what's going to happen. Does this kind of make sense to you? We're going to keep going because it will make sense to you. So what we find with QHHT and other kinds of things like that, hypnotherapy practices, is sometimes there is untruthiness that arises. Now, we don't mean to upset anybody's apple cart here, but there are lots of parts and pieces of the human. There are lots of desires, just like the young lady here said, I desire, sure, I could be, was why we asked, do you want to be Isis? I'd like to be powerful like a goddess, for sure. So many times there are parts of the human that arise in hypnotherapy sessions which can cloud the truth. And we mean that. We hope this doesn't offend anybody. So for you, we stand by what we told you some time back. We wouldn't say that you're a person of no importance, because if you look at your overall soul journey, you've had some wonderful lives, which are very good. It just so happens that in the way that we see you, respectfully and lovingly, we say you were not Isis, but you can, if you want, work with Isis energy, because it does work well with you, probably one of the reasons why you like it. But you are not an not powerful being, an impowerful being. You're a powerful being. We encourage you to look at lives beyond the Akhenaten range, which, by the way, was a very difficult rule. You probably were better off where you really were instead of working with Akhenaten so closely. Very difficult being. And you're a powerful being. What do you think about that? How does that lay with you?
Yeah, I'll go with that. So when we do a past life regression in hypnosis, so are you saying that the things that come up are not real, aren't truth?
I'm not saying that. We are not saying that. We're saying sometimes they can be clouded. So it is good, after past life regressions and all kinds of hypnosis experience, have multiple experiences that can look at the same thing, proof it out, spend some time with it before you believe everything, and then after some time, decide what you believe. Because there is some cloudedness, because the human is not just one simple thing, it is many things that can come through in a single or even a more focused group of hypnosis experiences. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we say quite respectfully to hypnosis and Dolores Cannon and all the others who have practiced this, even Jenna, is we respectfully say it is good to not always buy everything that comes through at first glance, but take a look at it, take a look at it, take a look at it, ask people to sit with it, reflect on it, reflect on it, reflect on it, because that is the most responsible way to go, because the human is complex. We hope this makes sense to you.
Yes, and I certainly have thought about that session and what I was saying, and I've come to some conclusions. I guess that maybe I was or somehow was channeling Isis at that time. I
Very
don't know.
possible. Very possible. And may we say, dear beautiful one, the way you said, I have come to some I have come to some conclusions, is what you said. And the onlookers on this call, we hope you remember the way she said that, the quality at which she said those words. I have come to some conclusion, which means I know at a higher degree of understanding. I'm like, I know. I've sat with it. And I've come to some conclusions. We have trouble saying those words through Addison. So, allow yourself to use this beautiful template from this beautiful person and say, sit with things and come to some conclusion. Because time, which is the passage of things, of this to that, this to that, this to that, creates, listen to this, time creates more exactitude. Time creates more exactitude. That's why we will say, all the ideas that we present to you today, sit with them for some time and allow yourself to come to conclusions, because time, the passage of time, passage of this to that, creates exactitude, more firm understanding. Does this make sense, dear beautiful?
Yes, indeed.
We love you. And really, a key message that we would give to you today is, who are you in this life? All those other understandings and energies and powers, they are additive. But yet, who are you in this life? What do you stand for? Who are you? What is that empowers you? And are you exhibiting that to the world? And that's our message to you. Sit with that and come to your own conclusion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who else?
Well, I think for time's sake, we'd like to bring Addison back and talk a little bit about the package and possibility.
Wonderful. We thank you all and we appreciate you. Remember, we are not here to tell you the things that you want to hear.
Thank you.
We are here to
Yes.
tell you the things that we could say that you need to hear, but that's not what it is. Our job is to say, here are new ideas, new ideas, new ideas. And sometimes when new ideas come into your life, think about this, you go, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that new car. I don't know if I like that new plane. I don't know if I like that new thing. But we are here to present new ideas. Otherwise, we don't do our job. We love you all, and we encourage you, become experts in love. And we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodness.
That's so juicy.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the package right now. So
Thank you, Metatron. Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Experience.
And
And
thank you
thank-
to Metatron.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Addison,
Oh my
for
gosh.
being that. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
You guys should know that Leonka twisted his arm. He really was like the last session. We were like, can you channel Metatron? And he was like, yeah, we're gonna talk timelines. And we were like, okay, I guess we're gonna do that. And then we were like floored. And then
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
Leonka's
speaking
like, well,
with
let's
you
have a little bit different conversation
this time.
So we are very grateful and thank
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Sure.
thank you. Thank you for having Metatron and I on. I appreciate it. And yeah, so would you like for me to talk about this package? Or do you
Yeah,
Yes, please.
absolutely.
So this is a 1 hour session with me and or with Metatron. And you can look on my website to get a little bit more kind of context about what really life guidance sessions is, really what this references, what life guidance sessions are like. But they can help you get clarity, get a sense of how to move forward, help you see your blind spots, get some information from your guides or Metatron that can help you move forward in the highest ways. And so this is a half off price that I offer through Jenith and Leonka. Normally an hour is $3.99. But for you all, it's $1.99. And a really great deal, or $4.99. I think it's $3.99 actually on my website.
Well,
so
change that.
I apologize if I miscommunicated with you.
But either way, it's still a phenomenal discount that you are giving to us. And I also wanted to point out that we do a 2-pay option. So you can, if you want to really feel called to spend some time with Addison Metatron, you can just choose it. So it'd be one payment now and then the second payment in 4 weeks. So we already have that set up and you can just select that from the cart. But wow. Thank you.
You're welcome, and happy to offer that for you both. And thank you to everyone who's watched today's session. I hope you found it helpful.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I am going to do this too. So I think there's just so much value, and being with Metatron was an amazing experience. There's just so much love and insight that is practical, which you talk about all the time. And I love that about you as well. Like you bringing this into, how do we bring this into our own lives so that we can actually do stuff and utilize the information that we're receiving. So thank you.
And it's presented in such a simple way with so many metaphors that you can't help but.
Which you do as well.
Right. Well, you know, I think it was Bruce Shar. I don't know if you know him, but he is an open channel in the same way. He said, well, the reason that sometimes my information sounds like, you know, the man who channels him is because, you know, we do share mind. And I thought that was very interesting how that works, that it's that you have a frequency that matches Metatron's frequency, and that's why you can do this work, is also how it was explained to me. You might have other words that you want to say about that, but I thought that would make so much sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people say, how do you channel? And I say Metatron and I, we have a meeting of minds. The old saying is, you have a meeting of minds. Our minds meet up and we share that beautiful connection. I've been working with Metatron for a while now, so you know how it is when you work with someone, just like you both, Jennifer and Leonka, like you kind of finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
And so there's that commonality with Metatron.
That's
Thank you
so
for your kind
cool.
words.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's sort of interesting. One of the things that always happens when I am with such a powerful channel is I always feel a little bit like I am not good enough, but I don't feel like that in my normal life, right? I almost feel like there's things that I'm going to be seen as a fraud around. And I wonder, is that like typical of people, that they don't want to be seen, like they literally have these veils up?
Did you say fraud, that word?
Yeah, I did.
She did say fraud. I was like,
I don't really ever feel like that.
That's
But
very
then when I was in the presence, there was like, I wonder if there's something here for me, because I feel like I'm being a fraudulent or something.
Oh, interesting.
Well, with all due respect, I think you're very authentic and genuine. I think both of you are. But this whole fraud syndrome, and some of you on the call may be familiar with this, it happens in the human experience. And it's kind of a trickle down of doubt, personal doubt. But, I encourage you, just cling to your genuineness, claim your genuineness and work through it. The whole fraud syndrome is really a fraud.
Yeah, well, yes, that's really what I have told myself. But then at the same time, it's like I was like, there's like this wanting some guard around me. And I think this is the first time in a long, long time that I've really felt that in any way, but I was noticing that. And I just thought I would bring that up.
Thank you for doing that.
Because I thought maybe that was somebody else or something else that I was perceiving. So I just thought I'd put it out there.
I think it's common in channels too. I went through a phase where I said, is this me? Is this my voice?
Yes.
I'm sure you know that. So, I encourage you to work through it. I think you're very authentic and genuine, and just stick with that.
Thank you. That's funny.
And do some fraud patrol clearing.
I know. All right. You guys, I put the link to Addison's package in the chat. If you need it, it'll be in the newsletter right under this interview. You'll have a link for the replay, and that will be out later this evening.
And if you found us on YouTube, it'll also be in the descriptions.
Yes. Addison, is there anything else that you want to add to this conversation?
Any parting words for us? Addison, has been such a blessing being with you again.
Oh my gosh, you're just so,
Yeah, I love
you
it.
look at things very
I know.
differently.
I know.
And it's sometimes just that extra little nugget or piece, and then you're like, oh.
And you do that
And I
very
did
well.
that again today. I was like, it's like there's things that you say, and I'm just like agreeing. Then all of a sudden something will hit me, and I'll be like,
I have to agree.
Well, you both are being very, very generous, very,
Oh.
very kind. And I really acknowledge that and appreciate your kind words. And, I would just leave you with this. I think, I'll echo what Metatron said is, try to be an expert in love. It's something that I try to do. I don't always succeed, but I try to call myself a love expert. Have other people go, wow, you're really a loving person. What a nice guy. And to the average person, love comes through as like, what a nice person, what a nice lady, what a nice man, whatever. Just do the best. Let's all do the best we can to be experts in love. And thank you to everyone watching, and thank you, Jennifer and Leonka, for having me on today. And thank you to Metatron.
Thank you, and thank you, Metatron. And wow, I can't wait until we get to play again.
Yeah,
we do that.
Yes.
Because that was a really, really phenomenal episode.
Well, thank you both, and have a wonderful day. And shall I leave the room now?
Yes, I will unpin you.
You can hang out, but yes,
you're welcome to hang out.
Now you can just spectate.
Thank you, everyone. Much love to you. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye.
And everyone stick around, because we continue to go straight into the next. Aurora is going to join us. She's got some really interesting things she works with. Oh my gosh. Like today is just going to be so much fun. Take a breath. Let's just a second. Gosh, it was a lot. And being in that energy is so fun.
So delicious.
Yeah, delicious is the great word. Yeah.
Yeah, it is sort of like a love, isn't it? I'd love to hear it, you guys, on your chat, some of the comments that you really felt that you got from that. Like, what were some of your big ahas? What were some of your like jaw-dropping moments like I had?
Or just let us know that if it was amazing. Thank you so much for commenting.
Under Addison's picture on Instagram, I'm going to put that in the chat. I would love if you'd go over there and comment as well.
Oh, how sweet.
You guys, this is a brand new site that we are building. So I would love if you would contribute with us.
Yes.
To grow. I feel like I'm putting things to one person in the chat, you guys. So sorry about that. All right, there is our Instagram. That is where you can win a book that will be mailed directly to you. Something you may
And
get
a
something
surprise.
else if you are like way out of this country, though, by the way. And I try to make it even better. Just be a love expert, says Joe.
Isn't that cool?
Very cool. And so I earlier, sorry. Here you guys go. Here is the link for Addison's package. Wow. Our next session is actually starting in 25 minutes. During this time, we'd like to tell you about some of the things that are going on in this community and really how we're trying to create this show. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Sometimes we have a speaker, sometimes we don't. But we always have a talk topic. For example, last week we just did a series on all things weird.
It was fun.
We talked about ghosts and entities
walk-ins,
and UFOs.
UFOs
and walk-ins. And so as we create this community, we also do these little things on the morning basis. And one of them is space weather news.
Yay! Mystic space weather news.
Mystic, like the Schumann resonance and what's going on in the stars and things like that.
That's
and
right.
Bianca presents that. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you think that's important and why we bring that into the show?
Yes, because lots of times, because we are biological humans having an experience, we are affected by how the sun puts out radiation or puts out very charged photons into the environment without getting too technical. And I've always been really fascinated with space and weather on the earth and how it makes everyone feel. So what I started to do was just do more research and found that during the solar maximums that humans tend to have lots of more excitability. There are wars that can happen during the solar maximum, and we happen to be in a solar maximum right now. So we will peak around 2025. So during this whole year, I realized that when I was talking with people were saying like, I am so excited, then I'll be tired, then I'm just everywhere. And what people were experiencing in my experience is that from the information that I've coupled with some of the mystic information is that they're having ascension symptoms. And so when you don't know what's going on in your environment and even in the space environment, then you may not know that you are being susceptible to some of this excitability. And then you could be, if you do, then you could be more loving and graceful with yourself. So basically my overall message all the time is just to give yourself grace, give your neighbor grace, but also to be aware of what is going on in our environment. Just like the two X-class solar flares that happened earlier this week. So lots of aurora borealis to be seen in the southern states. That's going on right now, and we've got a lot of stuff going on. So I just wanted to give y'all a heads up that and let you know what is going on whenever that little message comes out. So there you go. Yeah. And I think when people write in, they always let me know that they were so glad that I shared that, because it just reminds them that what they're experiencing is not alone. So there you go.
Yeah. And as you might have noticed, we've named this event the Vision Casting Experience. And we really want to continue to bring in you guys just like honoring what you're creating in your life and globally and frequency wise, what we're all creating in this world. So I then bring in what we call a vibe alignment. And with that, I use this kind of cool fifth dimensional frequency called awesomeness so that we really feel as if we're choosing this as an infinite being and from the field. So what would be fun is in between our speakers each day is if we could do one of these vibe alignments together.
Sounds juicy.
So I love if I mentioned as we started to have your notebook ready, but I'd love for you just to take 1 or 2 minutes and ask yourself, what is it in my life that I'd love to have that's different? Or what is it that I am that I'm really wishing I could change or would want to change? And do that for yourself. And then let's also do that through consciousness. So just take 1 or 2 minutes, and I'd love to see what you have on your list. Maybe you'll share it in the chat as it comes up.
And also it can be a vision for the earth too. Lots of times we don't know how we can contribute. And by having this resonance of alignment together, we create change through consciousness. You have to know that this is exactly, you just heard Metatron tell you that it's all from the mind. So this is a way in which we can unite together to have changes come into effect.
Absolutely.
And we hold the space for doing it every day.
So kind of write in if you want, you don't have to, but I'd love to see some in the chat. What are some of those things so that we can really call it out? And I don't know if you've seen some of the other chats, but Valentina says she finds herself using awesomeness more now.
Yay.
And I do want you to know that this is a frequency that you all can have. And what I have noticed from people I've worked with on live events and through their bodies is that they actually do kind of catch. It's like contagious.
It is contagious.
Catch this cool frequency. So if you feel like you're catching it and that you can't have it because it's mine or something like that, or it's got to come through me or with me, you're wrong, because it is for all
It's
of us.
available. Mhm.
So thanks, Valentina, for bringing that up. I haven't really said that. Empowerment.
So for me,
That's a great one.
I would love it. So I love the word empowerment. And I was thinking the word was fearless and confidence in more of my affairs. Many times I'll have that day where I'm like, oh, yes, I got this. And da 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 da. And then sometimes you just have that day where you wake up and you're just not feeling all of it. Maybe you need a little more extra coffee that day. I don't know. But anyway, there are those days where I'm like, oh, I feel so like not smart. And so, and I know that's not the case for me, but it's just, so then I'll start showing up that way. I don't feel like that as much anymore now that I've learned how to do this work and work with you and all of the love that I realize that we all go through. But that was one of the ones that really would show up for me or especially early in my career was, again, it's kind of like that fraud. I'm a fraud. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was lack of confidence. So I'd love to have that in all areas. So
yeah,
can anyone relate?
And with this, I really want you, okay, once you get kind of your thing that you'd like to change, I want you to get all those juicy feelings of what it feels like to have that. Like write down the frequencies.
Okay.
Like I would have joy, relief,
Worthiness,
abundance, fun, yes, worthiness, empowerment. Like write down like 5 or 6 frequencies. So I'm doing it with
strut my stuff.
So I'm kind of like, what is it? What do you want more of in your life? And that could be both on a selfish personal level.
Yes.
And, within your family, maybe you want it for one of your children. Maybe it's something for your community.
I was going to say that.
Right?
Yes.
And then it could even go as far as for planet Earth.
Yeah.
Or it could go
for the oceans,
the galactic. Maybe you want to become a channel. Like just look on every single level.
Oh gosh, Jennifer, that's good. Yeah.
Later on, after this series, we are going to do a new program just with the two of us, and it's going to really take you through all these little steps. But during the summit, we're going to start tasting on some of these steps. Right? So you could do the human reality, health, family, lifestyle, right? All those things for yourself. But I want you today to go beyond that, beyond, add those, yes, because we want you to have those frequencies of the fun that you could have if you had this thing figured out, or the body. Right?
Like the dream body.
Even like, moving,
your body. Maybe healing.
Maybe you want a spontaneous healing. I know that there's some guilt sometimes with this. So while you're coming up with them, let's just say, how many guilt factors do you have that come up when you ask for something like a spontaneous healing? When you ask for things just for yourself and all that is, would you be willing to now just let that go, destroy, and then create?
Yes.
And take a breath. And anything else where you're just like, I can't ask for this, or it's a pie in the sky, I could never have it. All the lies, the limitations, the boxes you've put yourself in.
It's too early to make me cry.
We destroy and let that go.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then now we're gonna do this vibe alignment. So I want you to like just have for a minute all and be in so much freaking gratitude and love around all of these
Yes.
juicy vibes, right? You know, I'm having the vacations, I'm having the money, I'm having the body, I'm having the health, I'm having the spontaneous healings, I'm having more of the eternal present moment, I'm having these more mystical experiences, I'm
Yes.
having the
Turn it up,
channeling
girl.
that I want to have, I'm having it
Mhm.
all. Okay, as an infinite being, will you just expand out with all these delicious vibes? Just put them all in this like global yumminess
Yes.
and shake it up a little. And now we are going to ask who and whatever can contribute to our dreams to do that now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, and 3.
And you get extra bonus point if you threw out your hands and put the energy bolts because it feels good, y'all.
Right. Little awesomeness, juiciness. We're gonna start with Aurora in about 15 minutes, and she's gonna do some fun channeling. Oh my gosh, do you feel that?
Yes. It's like my body started moaning
Oh,
before
I
I
feel like
even.
my heart's having a little love orgasm.
It was like, and I realized that my mic was on. I love y'all. Thanks.
Ooh.
We're safe space here, right?
Gloria said, when I feel unconditional love for all beings in existence.
You're gonna make me cry too?
No, I think I am doing what I'm supposed to do to increase the vibrational frequencies on this plane.
Good.
Also forgiving all, asking for forgiveness and forgiving myself.
Forgiving myself. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Do you realize that y'all know that we are infinite beings and I'm going to say the word God.
Know that.
That God did not put us here on earth to bash ourselves and to just walk around feeling guilty. We are meant to love ourselves. That is one takeaway. And if you're going to work on that relationship of love, start please there.
Hello, Ruben. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, he says, good show.
Yeah.
Valentina says, I deserve it. Woo!
Who else
Baby, you're
like,
worth
just
it.
really deserves it today? You know? And what if you can just receive it? You don't even need to go through the steps of deserving.
Yes, thank you.
Something that doesn't allow that. Nice. And you guys, I just do want to, I know we've got a lot of things going on, but I do want to mention again that this might be a brand new show for you. So this might be totally different for you. So just kind of, you know, we're here to create, we're here to play, and you know, just kind of you got to go with our quirkiness because we kind of have these like off the cuff personalities a little bit. So
And we have
I just
fun
want to
here.
remind you that.
Yes.
Yeah. And with that, and before we bring on Aurora, I want to mention if this is a huge summit, we've got 40 interviews that have already been pre-recorded. You can get the archives, they're for $47. And with that, you also get all our future shows. We give you a link and we just keep adding to it. So if that calls you, look for that. It's at the bottom of the email. If you're not on the email list for some reason, you can find it in the captions under YouTube. So we have that. We also have an $8 frequency thing down there. And we now have a new marketplace that we've opened with some cool merch.
Yay.
And again, these are just invitations for you to support yourself in consciousness and support the show. We wear these little necklaces with the triple numbers.
Yes.
They're only sold in gold plated right now. If you recall, that's also at the bottom of your email. So, and we're doing a contest and a giveaway for everybody that comments today on Instagram. You get my free book. I will DM you through Instagram to get
And
your
I was-
address, by the
Mhm.
way.
And I'm
to send that to.
surprising two people who continue to comment all week with a Akashic reading session. So a special session with me. We do some little bit of channeling, and we really get in there and map out what you would like to accomplish in the next like 6 weeks. So it's really fun, very valuable. Lots of people have walked away from my sessions just completely renewed. The comments I get about it are so magical. So I would highly recommend to participate if you just go and comment on any of our speakers, right? Our speaker pictures on Instagram this week and next as well. So those will be surprises. So please just know that we're really just throwing out everything for you because we really
just want to party here.
Yeah,
Like
what's
this
up?
is our party week,
Yes.
right? We have a regular show on Tuesdays, Thursdays. This is our party week. So you are here
Tomorrow's
to-
my birthday. It says Valentina. Well, happy
Oh,
birthday, girl. Come
yay.
to the party with us there too.
Virgo.
Yay.
I'm a Libra. Mine's October the 1st, right after, right.
I love
around the end
Libras.
of this. Oh, and by the way, this series ends the 26th, but on October 1st, I have
Janet's birthday.
my birthday. I brought in a crystal bowl singer for us all to have a sound bath that day.
So that will be on
So
the
she's just
show.
gonna come and set up all her little musical crystals, and I hope that
So come
you
come
can
join
just, like,
us.
yeah.
Keep the party going, because you know what my motto is the party's never over. And I always think about that. And I really love, I think when you put joy as your priority, more support comes from the galactic, more support comes through brilliant ideas. People resonate with you. So that is why I feel like, yes, we tackle some big topics here on the show, and we really go deep, and we do, yes, you'll find that I cry. I'm like, dang, it's too early to cry. But we also have fun here, and we also have joy as a priority. So there you go.
Absolutely. What else y'all saying?
Can't wait. Love sound bathing. She's like,
Oh.
cry, you mean yawn? Girl, yes, I am the queen of yawn and release.
Yeah, we've got such a cool lineup. Tomorrow, if you are an empath that is super sensitive and you would like to kind of, figure out like what to do with some of that extra noise that you're dealing with, we have a speaker. Her name's Janet Dewar, and she will be on tomorrow morning.
And then
Right.
yes. And then tomorrow afternoon, we have the happy, fun Cinnamon Clark.
Oh, she's so good.
Yes, people love being in her energy. She will take questions. She reads.
Yep.
And she's kind of no nonsense, but the way she like puts stuff back to you, I've had a personal session with her probably over a year ago. It's still changing my life. It's so much fun. But the way she presents stuff is kind of a no nonsense, but like, oh my God, I got that. Thank you so much for opening my eyes to that. And really just has a great way of being able to just create space without you kind of like pouncing and having that resistance. So I think that's really magical about Cinnamon. She gets in there and makes us laugh. I mean, yeah, it's good times.
Absolutely.
Yes, like we said.
So let's while we're getting going here, let's just start
Seating that.
bringing in who else is here.
I think Jen tried to pull something up that I was
Yeah.
waiting for, but it didn't go.
It's
So
slowly coming.
Every-
Cinnamon is funny, yeah. Isn't
she is funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's
would-
what helps how she was able to get some of this tougher topic talks.
Tougher
topic talks. But she is able to penetrate and have us receive because she uses that true, authentic humor and her personality. Like some of these some of these things that are really tough to address, if you will, she just brings it on in that fun, no nonsense way, but has like a really cute humor about it. So it's just a great time. Let's see. She's so true to herself. Yes. And I think that's why people are so gravitating to her. And then tomorrow, Janet Dewar is going to talk to us. Janet had spent some time with her, even her special offer, like all of her information and on her site. Janet came back to me and she's like, Leonka, you're going to really love Janet. And I was like, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's specific, and
She said it's right there with some of the stuff that we tackle and talk about throughout the show. So again, this is a continuation. We always have the Mystic Morning Show. Eventually, it will become more days of the week. And you just like another place where you can come and have just a great way to start your day, something different from the news. Of course, we got the Mystic Space Weather News, but something different from just the regular, ho-hum.
news.
Yeah, just a different.
Oh, Ruben Longhorned us.
Hey.
I think it was mostly supposed to be "I love you," but
I think it's a Longhorn.
We're in Texas here, and it's football season. And
Yeah,
this is the
pretty
Longhorn.
sure it's a Longhorn. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Longhorn. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna bring Aurora in, and I'm gonna restart the recording in just 1 second here. I saw her name on here. Now I have to hunt her down. Oh, there she is, waving.
Oh, how funny.
All right.
Oh, and how lovely she looks too.